I really like the running rants that Helen Mino Faulkner posts. So with that in mind, inspired by that, I had a little running rant that I wanted to record today. I think with all the leaps and bounds of growth that trail running has had the last, I don't know, a couple decades probably, I still do not believe we are a big enough sport to sustain a division within the sport who wants to publicly complain about every perceived and even real issue that the sport has. I think when you are still small, like we are, this stuff needs to be dealt with in-house before it's blasted to the whole world. I think it does the sport a great disservice when people want to just publicly put out there every issue we have. And again, not saying we don't have issues. I'm just saying we're not the NBA. Like, we need to get together and focus on fixing these issues rather than writing op-eds for the world to see, because some of that just actively hurts our efforts to fix these issues. You know, a few of them that come to mind, because I feel like I'm being very vague, would be issues with folks cheating or cutting courses and receiving aid, whatever type of issue during events. It happens, right? I would say 99% of it that happens is incidental and accidental, but it does happen. And usually the parties who are responsible make themselves known and face whatever repercussions the organizers want to place on them. Sometimes they don't, whether that's malicious or not, whatever, probably depends on the circumstance. But in those cases, the easiest and best thing to do is to notify the race organizers. Like, that is almost always going to fix the issue. If the race organizers really truly do not address it, which to date I've not heard of, but if that doesn't happen, you know, I'm sure there's other pathways you can go to, but you don't need to be taken to Instagram before you've even talked to anyone, because that absolutely gives the sport a black eye and makes us far less professional in the public's eye. So, one of those issues. Another issue, on the national organizing side, like, there are so many problems with USA track and field. Very well known in the sport. If it's not well known to you personally, quick Google search will give you more than you want to see of troubling stories. However, there are even more people out there working to fix up these issues and make the sport better for all of us. There's a Professional Trail Running Association, Trail Runners Association, which is relatively new. There are other governing bodies. There are drug testing bodies. Again, all of which have their own flaws. But to think you're the only person that sees these issues and that no one will listen and that no one's working on them and that your only recourse is to go public onto whatever social media you favor, it's ridiculous. That just hurts the sport for all of us. And even more so hurts it for those of us who are trying to make a difference and trying to build the sport up and make it more professional. It's like, I'm trying to do this with a smile on my face, but there's like the last year, I've seen a bunch of these things pop up, and it's just ridiculous. Like, petty name calling and vindictiveness. Anyway, yeah. So that's my rant today. I'll Helen style. Yeah, hopefully I'm not so grumpy that it's annoying to watch this, but I did do a second take. The first one I was just annoyed. So hopefully this is useful. I don't know. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't. Maybe I'm, you know, way too inside baseball with all of this, and this is not an issue to anyone else, but I want our sport to get better, you know? And I think the way to make it better is to do just that, make it better, which means putting in the work and not complaining about stuff. I will say, I do get it, right? Like, that is the easiest, quickest pathway to vent an issue that you see, right? Is to become a keyboard warrior. But just because it's easy does not mean it's helpful or correct. In fact, almost always the easy pathway is the wrong one. I mean, we're trail runners, right? We choose to run 100-mile things for fun. So I don't think easy has ever been the strategy here. So let's put in the work in the sport, just like we put in the work in training. All right, just yeah, no more personal attacks, no more Instagram posts. Oh my goodness. Did forget to mention, I also want to tag the Boulder boys on this one, because I feel like you guys never are afraid to speak your mind and speak the facts of what's happening inside the sport. So I'd love to get your perspective on this issue. Maybe I'm way off base. Maybe this is something where, you know, a little bit of name calling or whatever actually helps. I say that in seriousness, I don't know. It just feels wrong to me, but anyway, I'd love to get your thoughts too, guys. So yeah, feel free to address it in your next video. That'd be awesome. Thanks. I have one quick second rant topic for any scientists watching. Why do my legs feel so terrible the first few miles after a day off? Like, I don't take many days off, but when I do, the next day I run, I can tell you, when I leave the house, I just think I have to turn around. Like, my legs feel like so much garbage. And then, without fail, like 10, 15 minutes in, they feel pretty great. Anyway, how's that? Why is that? Let me know. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how these things work. I just go outside and run a lot. So I would appreciate any thoughts or insight onto that one. I guess it's not really a rant. Well, it is kind of a rant, because I mean, it is annoying. But yeah, just curious.